Hey, what's going on, guys? First of all, I just want to say I'm a big fan of the show. Also, read all the not read, listened to the audiobook with the podcast. Amazing content, guys. I literally just wanted to say that before I ask my question. Do you guys think it's a coincidence that it's an election year and perhaps the administration at hand probably wanted to show a win? And possibly, that could influence them to negotiate a deal with those guys. Do you, with Mario and El Chapo's son? Do you guys think, by any chance, that's a coincidence or?
John Estrada, man, thank you so much for listening to audio and listening to a podcast uh, and tuning in for sure. Obviously, you must have been a little bit late, but these recent arrests of El Mayo Zambada and Joaquin Guzman Lopez has nothing to do with any government in being at play. I mean, I guess some of it, I mean, the government has something to do with the rest of Ovidio and the extradition, which probably caused the domino effect that led to the events from yesterday. But that was more of of Chapo's sons basically betraying Mayo and having a get out of jail free card and basically kidnapping him and bringing him to the United States to help uh, the cooperation of Ovidio Guzman and Joaquin Guzman, Chapo's sons. So I don't, in those regards, I don't think that the government played a part in this. So when it comes to election year, I know that the governments could get a little bit, uh, put a little bit more pressure on drug trafficking organizations and criminals, but I don't think that they played a part in this particular situation.
Gotcha. No, thank you so much as well for answering.
Yeah, for sure.
Fabian,
Hey, yo, how's it going?
what's poppin', man?
Yeah, first I want to say that I really enjoy the show. Um, Also, bringing down the El Chapo show. Was really really addicting, and my respects to the Flores twins, and much prayers to their family.
Hey, Fabian, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, and thank you for tuning in. Like I'm gonna tell you, like as you can see, we don't rehearse anything. We just come on here and just like literally have a conversation. Um, I appreciate that you guys, tune into some of those uh to the podcast, and if you haven't listened to the Cartel Wives on Shizo reaction, you got to listen to it. But I appreciate the prayers as well, man. Blessings to you, and thank you very much. This type of support means a lot because
Yeah,
you were coming from one side to the other, right? Everything that we've, I guess, I know that what I'm doing right now, even being on here, is new to me as well. So I appreciate those kind words.
yeah. Now, if I can just ask my question. My question is for the witness protection. What does that entail? Like, are you gonna be on it forever? Like, are you do you have the right to tell the government, hey, I'm on my own now. I don't really need your help or things like that?
All right. It's not for. I mean, it can be forever, but it's normally not forever. There's really strict rules. And basically the way it probably changed over years. Like before, it was more um probably something that the government thought it was important, but as of lately, it's more of like they want to like get you in and get you out, and and they don't want you, the help or whatever the case is not what you think. So it's basically, they give you a small time frame to kind of get your shit together, and you could continue to abide by the rules, and as long as you're there, they'll continue to offer you, protection and some of the resources, but it's not what you think. But you have that choice each and every day to be in it or not be in it. Um, but yeah, it's there's people I've known that went and were were in it for 20 years, and then there's people that probably were only did it for 6 months. So
Salutes, Fabian. I appreciate you coming through, asking your question, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. And again, guys, keep up the great work.
Anthony Alvarez, you want to unmute yourself? Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Can you guys hear me?
Salutes, salutes,
yes,
Anthony.
sir. Yeah, how you doing, Anthony?
Doing good, man. Just before I ask my question, I just want to say that your story is amazing and um, it's truly insane how you've been able to turn your life around. I've been following it for a few years now, so it's super dope that you guys did this podcast and that Shy has this platform that you've been willing to go on.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate you tuning in, and every time I hear that about my life, it's kind of surreal for me because it's my life and it's not like something that I ever thought that I was gonna be putting out here. So the fact that people tune in and want to listen to what I have to say means a lot. Um, Hopefully, this will continue to open up new doors where we could keep doing this kind of stuff and just kind of bring a more of a real firsthand experience and understanding of what that world is like.
Yeah, exactly. You and your brother are doing a great job of actually bringing
Mm.
light on what this life is really like, rather than just bragging about all of the lavish lifestyle. You guys are really bringing awareness to what that entails. So I think that's super dope and unique.
Yeah, I think that's what I think my brother for sure and I have that like passion. Like we basically it's a part of us that we didn't want to try to promote that life at all. Um, and I think that it kind of came together with Shy and we didn't plan this. This just happened.
Hmm.
So I think that when things are natural like that, it always works out and goes back to that book. If you're into reading books, check out that book. It's one of my favorite books. It's by Adam Grant. Um, that when things come together naturally, I think it's always a little bit better than some of the stuff that are forced. But I think that's our biggest goal for my brother and I is to in hopes that if there's someone out there trying to live that life or youth out there or people just in general, right, that are going through those hardships or maybe unhappy with their life, that you could change it. It's going to take work, it's going to take sacrifice. I mean, I'm feeling uncomfortable, but it could actually happen. If you look at our life, where we kind of started and where we ended up at and where we're at today, it's like they're like different worlds of worlds away, right? What I do today is I work with law enforcement. I work with Congress, and at the same time, I used to work with the biggest drug lords in the world. So I think that's a testament of wanting change and doing the right thing could lead to.
Totally agree, man. Not a lot of people have that opportunity to change their life around. So my family's originally from Morelia, Michoacan.
Okay.
Pretty hot out there. I've lost a couple of family members now to that lifestyle. So again, it's just truly amazing that you guys, being so high up, were able to put your willpower and change your life around. So it's a
Oh
testament
well,
that others can do that.
absolutely, man. Sorry for your loss. Like, look, again, right? Me myself, I've suffered many losses, including family members, because of the life, and I think that it's like almost a miracle that my brother are alive and able to speak about this. As you could see, like our life and where it entangles many other lives, and even as of yesterday with the arrest of my Zambada, it kind of continues to be unfold.
Hmm.
Um, it's I always believe that it's never too late, right? If you really wanted to for you to be able to change your life now, it's what worries me is when I say those things is that like people might say, well, you were in this situation and now you're in this situation, but I want to make it clear, I worked to be in both situations for good and for bad, right? So for bad, I worked there. I worked and I like suffered because of it, and in many ways, and now for good, it's basically the same thing. It doesn't come easy. It's not like something's given to me. For what I'm doing right now for law enforcement. You know, I put in a lot of effort, and I get a lot of pushback, but it doesn't deter me. And even for this channel, right? You see us. If you go back to some of these things, we're fighting for this channel, to actually be heard, right? So I just, every time I get a chance, I want to just make sure I point those things out so that if someone's listening, they're gonna make excuses about, oh, where it's this or it's that. No, I think we're all those in hard environments, and I really think that it's not, the success that you could get out of changing your life is gonna be, I guess from vary from person to person, but doesn't mean that you can't live a better life, right?
Yeah, that's true. And the last thing I want to say before I ask my question is that honestly, I think that you and your brother are going to have a lot of success with your story and whatever other endeavors you guys decide to have because quite frankly, I'd go as far as saying that to the point that you guys got to in that underworld is probably even harder than actually making it big in a legit way. Like every person that's in the dope game tries to get to that point that you guys got to. Very few can actually do that, right? So I think that clearly you guys have the brains to get to wherever you guys want to. So I think that with your show or whatever other endeavors you guys have coming up, I trust that you guys will be very successful.
Yes, God willing, I appreciate that, and you're right. The only difference that in the dope game or in that game, it seems like you have more motivated people than in the like private sector or like just doing such a legitimate. Because I'm now my personality, my brother's personality is like when we're working on something, we want to do it like now and tomorrow, right? We don't want to wait, and I think that's the only hardship, and that's it's been a little bit more difficult for us to get used to.
Yeah, I can imagine, man, especially after being locked up for
Mm.
so long too.
Yep.
Salutes, Anthony. I appreciate you, bro.
No, you have a question, right, Anthony?
Oh,
Yeah, if I still have time, Shy, if that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Go right ahead.
So my question was, I just wanted to get your opinion on what you think is going to happen in Sinaloa after this. And what I mean by that is obviously now with Chapo and Mayo gone, these two big drug lords that are from a different generation. It's kind of known that Los Chapitos went in there and, took over Culiacan. And at one point, I believe, started taxing El Mayo if he was doing business there. But El Mayo was a little more or less a little hesitant to use a lot of violence towards them. But do you think that now that he's gone, El Mayito Flaco is going to go in there with a ton of guns and start fighting them? Or what do you think is going to happen with like El Guano and Los Avendaño and all the other factions? Do you think there's going to be a lot more violence for a while?
Um. So just to make it clear, okay. Let me ask you a question. Your information, is it something that you know on like something personal? Because the fact that people even think that, in my opinion, right, that
Hmm.
the fact that even considered that El Mayo would pay the Chapo fraction, Chapillos, any type of piso or whatever you want to call it, rent, is the most outrageous thing I've ever heard.
So for
Um,
that, I can't say that I know that he was paying
yeah,
that. I had just
okay,
heard that that's what
yeah,
they
you heard,
wanted to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
People are gonna say them like, listen, uh, you know, before it was a collective between a bunch of people, including us. We all pitch in for
Hmm.
whatever the case is, but um, when the group splits up, even there was a time where like with the Juarez cartel, when we were not okay, we still paid. Well, we were still part of the pocket. You know what I mean? You know, because it's like you might have problems with each other, but you don't want, you need to pay for the newspapers, for the government, all of these different people that get paid. But no, Chapios were not charging Miles a fraction any type of money at all. And basically, what happens is there's at odds, and they're just trying to like co-live with each other. it's not like they're actually, like looking for each other, if that makes any sense. But then you have those instances where you have problems, but Miles fraction continue to be strong. He's the head. His son is the head of that side of it, which is El Mayito Flaco. And the way, just picture it this way. And Ivan and Alfredo think they're the boss, and Mayito Flaco thinks that they're the boss. And all the other links, underlinks under them think they're the strongest. I mean, so it's basically, it's going to be whoever, outlasts the other one right now.
So
Um,
do you predict that there will be a pretty big violent power struggle for a while? Maybe not
I,
immediately, but for a while.
you know what? I'm surprised it didn't start, but absolutely. Because, I mean, I want to say that they should know better what's going to happen if that war really, really, like takes over the city or whatever the case is. But on the other hand, now with this type of betrayal, the only way they know how to fix this is with violence or with the government, right, and arrest. So I think that's literally like the beginning of the end. Meaning the end's been coming, but now we're actually, I feel like, in the last chapters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's valid, man. Really appreciate your insights there.
Yeah. Yeah, for the I guess you know what when I say that, I guess the last chapters well for the Guzman and Zambada organizations, for
Mm.
what we know them as.
Changing of the guard.
Absolutely.
Salute to you, Anthony. I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate both of you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have a good night, man.
Have a great
You
night.
too.
We're gonna
Peace.
go to Crash Out next.
Yeah, crash out.
Salutes, Crash Out.
Yo,
It's popping.
shit, man. I like to thank you, Shy, and I'd like to thank Jay for the opportunity to speak and ask these questions.
Salutes to you, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Um, First thing, I was wondering, one day when government cleans up these tentacles from the octopus of the cartel and they clean up the spider webs, would you and your brother ever would like to return to the motherland one day?
Um, I would never feel comfortable enough to think that it would be that cleaned up, uh, to go back to Mexico. So it's something I'm gonna miss it. It was dear to me, but it's not that important. I think for my brother and I, once you live life and you get to see a glimpse of everything that is important to you, you know, it's not that important for me to risk my life, and my freedom or anything like that to go back. And mm,
That's understandable.
you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. I learned I could be happy in prison visiting room. I feel that I had everything. So once you live through those moments, everything else is like I could like it or love it from afar. It's fine.
Facts. Another thing, all these people that idolize these monsters and chomos, they actually disrespect our raza.
You know what? I think it has to do with the culture. It's gonna be something that they probably don't even think about, and it's when I say it's the culture, I'm not talking about like the Mexican culture. I'm talking about what it is. When people think about what gangster is, and that type of stuff. In general, you know, um, because I think even for organizations like in Chicago, it's like I'm sure you probably seen it by your neighborhood, but like there's people that were part of gang organizations that were no good and stuff like that, and no one did anything because they're part of that organization. It was like all right, you get me? Um, that type of mentality is kind of hard, right? We'll go back to your law enforcement. The biggest thing is like when one law enforcement officer does something wrong, are they getting called out? It's basically more of it's like the culture, and that's what happens. But I think that you know I think what Shaq has done, and just like it wasn't planned. Like as we started going through these stories, and you start getting a little bit of better insight, you know, Shaq making that observation to me is like normal. You know what I mean? And started to bringing it to light and talking about it, and it was just insane how much pushback you get, how mad people get because you're basically saying the truth about something. And I will tell you, I was a part of that. I didn't, I ignored it. I overlooked it. But I also overlooked what the drugs that I was selling, right, could be doing to people. You get me?
Yeah,
The
the
only,
poison
the only difference is that I can admit it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts.
and you bring those to light, and people are like, oh no. But even when I think for the trial for Chapo and all these things were coming to light, and everything, people were doing so much to, the attorneys to suppress it and this and that because it was going to make Chapo look a certain way. I never considered it to be like, you're worried about the way you look because that's the way you lived. Like, I don't, I'm lost. You get me? Like, no, no, you
Right.
can't do
Stuck
that.
in it, stuck in it.
To me, it was weird. Like, you could kill all these people, you could do all this stuff, you could betray people, you could do this, but oh, you don't want no one to know that, which is ironic, right? Like,
Yeah, I feel you on that one, man. It's like a toilet bowl effect.
yep, yep,
But man, I like to salute you guys, and I'm happy you guys changed your life, even though you know what you went through. But I know you were looking for a way out in the end. And God bless you and your family, your
yeah,
wives, and I hope you guys are safe.
yeah,
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk.
yeah,
Love
man.
you too. Good night.
I appreciate. Hey, Cash, I appreciate you. I know that you're always listening. You're always tuning in, man. That means a lot to me. Thank you for your blessings. And look, you know what? Um, I I told Shai this a long time ago, right? Like for the culture, with some of the projects that we have, or even without the projects, like you always hear these stories about the Frank Abigails and stuff like that. And I'd be like, why not me and my brother be the ghetto version of someone who really changed their life and did something positive? Our life is, still unfolding now. And hopefully, by the time we're done on this earth, that we'll be able to be those people that came from, you know, Southside Chicago that, started off very bad and made, you know, a change in their life and did and brought some positiveness.
Right.
Salutes
Well,
to
I
you, Crash.
appreciate you
I
guys.
appreciate you, bro.
Much love.
All right, man.
Yeah. Hey, good night, bro. Take care, man. Be safe, man. Blessings to you and your family.